This was the Occupy Wall Street protest that happened a few months back, and some people were arrested. And how is Twitter coming into this?
Well, so it was the largest single day of arrests pretty much in the duration of the movement in New York City. People were on the Brooklyn Bridge, and the dispute between some of those people arrested and the prosecutors who are trying them now is whether they knew they were breaking the law and in danger of being arrested when they moved from the sidewalk of the Brooklyn Bridge onto the roadway and obstructed traffic. They claim that police kind of lured them on there, told them to move onto the roadway, and then swept them all up in an arrest. So prosecutors have subpoenaed Twitter to look at the tweets transmitted on that day by the protesters in question to see if they made statements that displayed a knowledge of their risk for being arrested. And as a result of the judge's ruling yesterday, those tweets will be allowed to be used in court.
There are two things on Twitter. There are tweets and there are direct messages. Is this just the open tweets, or is it the direct messages too?
I believe the subpoena includes everything in the person's account. So it's all the messages, whether direct or open messages, as well as the location from which the tweet was made, which a lot of the times is logged by Twitter, other user information if it was an anonymous Twitter account, say. All of that stuff would be revealed. We only know so far that the 4 protesters have had their tweets subpoenaed. So we're not sure how far beyond that this goes, but at least in this one protester's case, they will be used as evidence against him.
And what are they being charged with?
It's mostly disorderly conduct type charges, which is a very minor offense. I mean, these are not.
Is that actually a crime? Is that a misdemeanor? What is it? Is it a civil infraction? Is it? I mean, is it Islam? What is it?
Right, it's below the level of a crime. It's more akin to like a parking ticket.
Okay, so they're fighting the equivalent of a parking ticket, is what you're telling me.
Right. In our earlier reports, when we've talked to the protesters, I mean, it's not that all the protesters are fighting these charges, but those that have chosen to go that route see themselves as doing it to prove a point that they don't believe it was a legitimate use of police force to arrest them on the bridge, and so they're fighting the charge to prove their case. But I think 2,000 people in total were arrested in the duration of Occupy Wall Street. So far, about 1,000 of those cases have either resulted in some sort of plea arrangement or dismissal of charges because there wasn't enough evidence. So only about half of the people arrested so far have chosen to go the fighting it route.
And these 4, the Furious 4, if you want to call them that, are they? What do they think of this? They're not happy with it, or are they just going to continue fighting? Our
reporter spoke briefly with the protester involved in this case, a guy named Malcolm Harris, and he said that he was disappointed in the decision, but he still thinks justice will win out in the end, and that he'll triumph in the case. The other 3 people, their lawyers so far haven't come forward to make a motion the way that Mr. Harris's lawyer did, so we don't know their identities yet.